Your Reaper. My goal in this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, VWAP is pushing up, momentum is gaining strength, and money flow is pushing up. Stochastic and RSI are gaining strength, so this does look positive to continue toward that first gap area, right around that 107. Remember, we would want to see a rejection there because Dixie usually goes up and then crypto goes down. So we want Dixie to go down if crypto is usually going to go up. Our momentum overall is making a bit of a bearish divergence that has not highlighted yet. So we have a high here, a lower high here, a lower price high here, and a higher price high here. So that creates a bit of a kind of split off, and that split off does end up spitting downwards. That money flow is starting to weaken, and VWAP is pulling back. So I would watch because that could mean we could push up, fill that gap, then see that rejection. Again, that would be the more ideal move for crypto. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are seeing a bit of strength gaining here. Again, we do want to see this weaken as crypto goes up. Right now, we are seeing crypto go down, so it really doesn't help us right now. But that VWAP does have a significant lower low. We do have a little bit more time in the bearish territory, so this does show bears are starting to gain strength, and we may see this start to reverse if that does not continue forward. Over on the 1 hour, that VWAP does have a lower low with a shorter high, so we are starting to see bears gain control. Watch for that to continue. If it does, momentum will continue to roll over. Money flow will continue to weaken. The higher time frame would continue to push down, and we could break that value area high, pushing to the point of control, that blue line. And again, that would be positive for altcoins because remember, we can still see Bitcoin and altcoins go up while dominance goes down. And we do need to see that if we're going to get an altcoin season. So over on our total for the daily, it does look like we did retest that 749 like we said to watch out for. Our stochastic is pulling back. That VWAP does want to push up. Momentum is trying to gain strength. And our VWAP is trying to break through that neutral. So if that VWAP can break through that neutral, we will see continued bullish momentum here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a pretty decent push to the bottom here. We did make a decent round up. This could be a inverse head and shoulders that could try to push us forward. It would be a small one, so it just tried to push us right around like this 8.5 billion. Our VWAP is starting to favor more bullishly. Momentum is pushing up. Money flow does want to push forward, but it does look like it's starting to reject. So keep an eye on that VWAP. If it starts to get some strong bearish waves, that money flow could stay in bearish territory, which would cause higher time frames to still fall down. If that VWAP can stay in bullish territory or get a very short bearish wave, then continue to make a strong bounce up, kind of like back here, then we could continue forward and see some bullish momentum. Again, remember, you do want to trade on confirmation. Don't trade just because there's a pattern here. Over on futures, we did almost fill the complete gap, so this is positive. This is a candle wick though, and candle wicks do act like gaps, so just keep an eye on this because that does mean we could end up seeing a rejection and filling that candle wick. Our stochastic does want to push forward though. VWAP is trying to break bullish. Momentum is pushing up, and the RSI does want to gain strength, so overall that does look pretty positive. Over on the 1 hour, we did get our third touch to the top for our pattern, and we are getting our retest with a potential bounce. This could be a buy-in opportunity in order to push us forward. Remember, this is a descending channel here, so descending channels do push you up, and that would be a break up to around 89K, so that'd be a retest right around that value area high, and we do have some gaps to the upside, so that could try to push us in that previous like 93K range if we are able to hold that 90K range. So watch for that VWAP to hold bullishly. We need it to continue and make a bounce here and at least get like some small bearish waves like kind of back in here. Again, if we see some bigger waves form here, then we could invalidate our pattern and trade down. But right now, it does look like we are trying to get our breakout. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we do have that inverse head and shoulders, kind of like we saw in total. Our VWAP does want to push up. Money flow is trying to kind of push forward, but that momentum is sticking bearish right now. If that VWAP can continue bullishly on lower time frames, then we could see a pretty decent bounce up. It does look like we may end up pulling back. Again, we would see that shoulder, kind of a little bit of a pull back, then a bounce. So if we pull back, hit that 83K, then bounce, we're still safe. But if we broke that 83K level, that's where I would start to err on the side of caution and watch for bearish momentum. That VWAP is starting to push down, but struggling to break through that neutral. That could be positive, as we could just break forward and not even see this pattern. We could just make a bullish continuation and see a run up. Our momentum is heavy in the bullish territory, so if that VWAP does make a bounce off that neutral, money flow will start to reverse, and as that money flow pushes into the green, if it can hold, then those higher time frames will push green, and we can get those stronger green candles and start to retrace our losses. Over on graph for the daily, it does look like we got a little bit of a push down. This was a rising channel. We did get a full breakdown on that rising channel, but we did not break through that support, so that 11,057. So if you're watching for that range, I would watch for a strong green candle next. That strong green candle could invalidate this bear flag and try to push us back up to the 4316. Stochastic does have a bullish cross. VWAP is trying to break bullish. Momentum is starting to push up. Money flow is a little bit on the bearish side, but we are starting to see a little bit of a push forward here. So if lower time frames can break into the green and hold, we may make a bounce. Over on the 1 hour, we do have that money flow in the green. We are starting to see a push off that support. We did hit that support pretty perfect, and then we are continuing forward. So watch for continued higher highs with higher lows here that do not connect. As long as we can get some sort of bullish pattern like that, or rising lows with flat highs, then we could see a break forward. Momentum does want to push up. VWAP is trying to hold bullishly. Money flow is in the green. So overall, if this can hold, we could see those higher time frames gain strength and see a continuation forward. So over on Anchor for the daily, we did have that bear flag here as well. We did hold that 2020 support. We did kind of wick down below, right around that 1964. So hopefully you were watching that zone and you did buy some if you have not already. That VWAP does want to push up. Momentum is trying to gain strength. Money flow does want to push forward. So we do look like we could start to make a bounce forward here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a gap to the downside, so I would watch that. That is at that 978. So if we see a rejection, we also have one right around that 2051. So we may want to put a buy order here. We did not have any buy orders, so maybe we want to pick up some just in case we see a pullback, but that could still be a higher low with higher highs if we fill either gap. That VWAP is starting to push into bearish territory, bringing momentum lower with a red dot. So I would just keep an eye on this. As long as we don't start to favor bearishly like back here, we do still have that chance to see bullish momentum. And if total pushes up, it would be likely that Anchor would follow. Over on XRP for the daily, we did retest right around that 198, sorry. So just shy of that $1.80 buy-in. So that is kind of missed opportunity for us. I believe we did get some earlier though, but we are not too worried. Our buy-in's right around $2. That average wouldn't have really helped us, but stochastic is pulling back. RSI is starting to push down. VWAP is starting to favor bearish. Momentum is pushing down, and money flow is in the red. Again, that's why you don't go for the maximum, because if you're aiming for that $1.80, that was a pretty even number, and usually those even numbers are a manipulation zone. We did have these wicks right around that 197, so those wicks did make that area a little bit more solid than $1.80. If we move over, we do have like this $1.84, so dropping to $1.80, we would have had to break another consolidation range. So over on the 1 hour, we do look like we do want a higher high. Watch for a higher low. Momentum does want to push forward. VWAP is trying to hold bullish. If this VWAP can hold bullish, momentum will start to push money flow higher, and then we could continue a bounce here. However, if that VWAP breaks down and starts to favor bearish, I would then start to watch for those zones to break that we just mentioned. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe, and join us in that Discord.